She's the proud owner of an Emmy Award for Best Actress. She's a relative newlywed. She's a lecturer, an animal rights activist. She's obviously a multi-dimensional, multifaceted, indefatigable woman. She's Rue McClanahan, and this golden girl will be spending much of this hour with us. I hope you will too. Cullen on Cable starts now. Hello there, fancy meeting you here. Tell you what, Rue McClanahan en route. She is, isn't she? Yes. En route from her downtown hotel. She's appearing at the Benedum, I believe, in CLO's Bye Bye Birdie. Okay, but we'll be talking to her as soon as she gets here. Meanwhile, I'm talking to you. I suspect you are already here. This just in, I have a few little news items that you might, even if you've had your morning coffee and newspaper, you might have missed. I couldn't resist this one. It was headline Tuna Assault. Have you heard about this one? San Diego, a man was arrested on suspicion of assaulting his girlfriend in a supermarket parking lot with a 10-pound tuna. He is going to be charged with assault with a deadly weapon. The tuna, and excuse me, I see right here that the chief of police said this is a serious incident. Okay, so I'll wipe that smile off my face. Yeah, assaulted with a 10-pound tuna. Also, crime blotter, this one out of Sandusky, Ohio. 41-year-old Paul Harriet has been arrested for DUI, driving under the influence. It doesn't matter that he was driving a golf cart on a public golf course. He crashed the golf cart into a post and a sign, damaging them and damaging the golf cart as well. He has been cited. I can't take much. Oh, this is it. I want to talk to you about this, actually. Can we talk about this? Maybe even now? I don't know. You know, the Congress is trying to figure out how to get this whole country back on the straight and narrow, and you've got all kinds of things, you know, popping up in legislative action. And state legislatures are getting into this as well. You saw perhaps yesterday, was it, the state of Louisiana is apparently going to sign into law a measure that would say that all school children have to address their teachers as sir, ma'am, or Mr., Miss, and Ms. What were they calling them before? I mean, what do people call their teachers now? They don't say, hey, hey, you. I mean, what do they call them now? Anyway, so there's all of these, to me, spasms of you know, legislative action, thinking that, you know, that's going to cure things. Right. Here's another one. The Congress, the House actually, is considering a measure that would permit the 10 Commandments to be posted in schools and government buildings. And there you have it. I think that'll settle everything too. So I bet a lot of you support that. Couldn't hurt. What's the big deal? Okay. If you want to talk about that, feel free. This is interactive television, 333 PCNC. The story, however, that I want to look at, you know, with you today is one that I noted yesterday. It's the twins. You heard about these guys, Pontiac, Michigan. Twins, two guys, each of them mowing their lawns about 2 miles apart from each other the other day, and each of them having heart attacks, chest pains at the exact same time, ending up in the emergency room, driven there by their wives. I was curious to see these guys. Well, the Today Show satisfied my curiosity today by having them on with their wives and Matt Lauer talking to them. I just want to look at them with you for a while, okay? We call it Back Talk.
mowing their lawns 2 miles from each other when both felt chest pains and were rushed by their wives to the same hospital, arriving 40 minutes apart. Robert underwent a quadruple bypass 2 weeks ago, and Richard had a second angioplasty only yesterday. They're joined this morning by Robert's wife,
Okay, stop.
Nancy.
Can we stop the tape right there? Stop. Can we stop the tape? Look. First of all, I have to admit, as I was looking at the two of them there for a while, I wasn't sure they were still, were they alive? Have you ever seen two? I suppose, you're not used to being on TV. You're going to look like that. Like this. But isn't this interesting? Look at these two. They've crossed their legs in the exact same way. Note, left over right. Their hands are crossed, their arms are crossed in the exact same way. Any of you out there twins? Any of you who are twins have a story similar to this where twins separated, not together at the time, have the exact same thing happen to them or reaction to something or something like that? Any of you? Because if you do, we'd love to hear it. 333 PCNC. Okay, now what's about to start here is, I'm sure Matt Lauer's thinking. I always like imagining what the voices in the heads of the interviewers are thinking because I'm an interviewer and voices are in my head when I interview somebody. You ask a question and you get an answer that you didn't want. And that's what happens to Matt here right at the beginning. I mean, you got this great little story. You're just assuming this is going to be wonderful. So let's roll it. Matt asks the question and gets a disappointing answer, to say the least.
Good morning, Matt.
Folks, this sounds like one of those stories that couldn't be true, but of course it is. Robert, before we get to the specifics of what happened 2 weeks ago, have you and your brother had many experiences over the years where you felt the same things, the same emotions and thoughts at the same time?
No, I can't recall any.
Okay, stop it right there. I mean, no. All right, that's the lead. I mean, has this happened before? No, can't recall. And then, of course, he asked the brother, and nope, can't say as we did. And that's when, believe me, even though Matt Lauer is like one cool cookie and, he always looks just perfect, Matt Lauer at that point is thinking, oh, my Lord, oh, jeez, what did they do this to me for? Nope, can't say as we ever had. You recall anything like that, Tom? No, so it was one of those. It was, what do you want? They've never been on Robert and Richard. Anyway, they're feeling better, and we're glad. The Tenniswood brothers, they're 15 seconds of fame. Gee, excuse me. I don't know. It's not very nice to laugh at, another. I've got my own troubles, if you want to know the truth. Rue's still not here, is she? Is she? Hello? Rue! She'll rue the day she stood me up. Rue! Oh, she's still not here. I'll tell you. At least Matt Lauer had two stiffs to talk to. Rue? And it's going to be a long day. I can feel it already. I'll tell you, one of the reasons that live television is dying. There isn't a lot. You're looking at one of the few live shows. I mean, really, live. I mean, a news show is sort of live, but there's a lot of taped elements to it. This is live. Rue is here? Oh, how wonderful. Rue's here, so I don't have to tell you my life story. Thank God. All right. The reason that you don't have a lot of live shows is things like this. It's dangerous. All right, I got a live wire to talk to, as it turns out. Rue McClanahan, Emmy Award winner. You know her as one of those golden girls, and she's going to be right here in about 30 seconds, I bet. You'll see her in about a minute. I hope. That means you're staying tuned. Please do.
Cullen on Cable is sponsored in part by Highfield Open MRI, located at the Green Tree exit off the Parkway West.
Your picture's in the paper, and there's a big article about the Citrus Festival.
What's it say? What's it say?
Miami will be busy this weekend with 10 major conventions. Listen to this. The highlight being the Citrus Festival Ball, which is being chaired this year by 35-year-old Blanche Devereaux. How much did that cost you?
I don't have to pay for compliments.
You went to bed with him.
Twice. But it's not like I wouldn't have anyway.
What's wonderful here is the person most enjoying that and laughing is Rue McClanahan. So you don't have a problem looking at yourself on television. A lot of people do.
Dressed in that beautiful
Isn't that
outfit.
gorgeous. You said, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that costume.
I don't remember that one.
That was a beautiful, I don't know if that was a, did it look like a negligee to you? Or did
No,
it
it didn't look like a negligee. It looked like a dress.
Like a dress.
Although Blanche could have worn a negligee like that.
I didn't get that. You see, I got all my costumes when I made my 7th year contract with them. I stipulated that I would get all the costumes. And we did about 5 costumes a show, and we did about 200 shows. So that was a lot of clothes.
It's 1,000 outfits.
But I didn't get them all because they were all hanging in a warehouse, and we had to pull them down, and they were mixed up with all the other shows. And we didn't get that one. Now, that's one of the prettiest ones I've ever seen.
Where's your lawyer?
My husband says I never see the show. All I see is the costume.
Oh, you see the clothes.
That looked like a cute show. I wonder what it was about.
You really got the clothes you wore? Is that like, no, that's from the show too?
I believe it is. I believe it is. I can't remember anymore for sure, but, oh, you talk about trying to transport all those clothes from California to New York when I moved to New York, and I had to build a closet.
I was going to say in New York, where space is at a premium, you would have had to have an entire apartment simply made into a closet.
I took
is that
the
right?
bedroom that it was in this condo that I bought, and I made it into a closet. So I have a closet now the size of a bedroom, and a bedroom the size of a closet, but it works out.
So
I like it that way.
You still need a lot of clothes. Huh?
Well, sure, who doesn't? I mean, if you don't shop.
Well, that's right, and obviously she doesn't need to shop.
I just recycle. It works.
I'll tell you.
I also get costumes for the other shows that I do,
but you're
too,
one of
so
these,
I keep accumulating.
So you're one of these women who walks into this huge walk-in closet and says, I don't have a thing to wear.
But I do.
But yeah, you do.
And I have 13 gorgeous negligee gown outfits. You know, those were all made for me. Those were all made.
And do you ever wear those? Do women walk around? Oh.
Well,
maybe she does.
If I get in a mood.
Yeah.
I have to be in a mood, you know. But I'm always afraid I'll spill something on it.
Well, heck, if you have that many, what difference does it make?
Oh.
I've never even introduced you, have I?
To whom?
Them.
Oh, hello.
Hi. It's Rue.
Hi.
Rue McClanahan, you know her. Golden Girl. Mostly that's how people know you, right? Don't you think?
Mostly they know. Every now and then someone comes up and says, I love you on Mama's Family. And I watch it every day. And I say, oh, wow. And then I expect to hear them say, and Golden Girls, and they don't. Some people don't like them.
And Maude?
And Maude is coming back on the air in November. It's going to be rerun for the first time.
Oh, so it's never been in rerun?
Went off the air 21 years ago, and it's now going to be in, no, it's never been rerun.
Okay, so you'll be getting people saying, I love you in Maude.
Oh, I hope so, because I love that character.
Well, speak of recycling, you mentioned, you know, you're recycled then all the time. Is it bizarre, I mean, to never just have yourself frozen in time to be clicking through the channels and see yourself?
1972 was the first Maude I did. Now, that's a heck of a long time ago.
Well, it's like 25 years and then some.
And so there I am in every different, different age all through. Here's something that I just realized. I've got a new series called Safe Harbor that's going to be coming on in September. Mama's Family is in reruns. Maude is going into reruns in November. Golden Palace just went into reruns in June or May. Golden Palace was the one we did after Golden Girls, and Golden Girls. So I'm going to be on in 5 shows this fall. I mean, it's a Rue McClanahan festival.
There'll be no getting away from the woman. She'll be everywhere.
Escape me.
Rue McClanahan, you'll rue the day. Where does that name come from? I don't know.
My mother's name was Rua Nell. RHEUA-NELL. Yeah, well, and my father, Southern
Poor
Oklahoma.
woman, Rue
Yes, Rue
Yeah.
They called her. A lot of them called her Renelle.
Renelle.
Yeah, they called her Renelle. And my father's name was William Edwin. So my Aunt Winona bullied my mother into letting her name her firstborn. She said, you know, Winona had a way with her. So my mother said, all right, if you'll let me name your firstborn. So they made that deal. Well, Winona wasn't even married yet. So she said, okay. So when I was born, she named me after my mother and my father. Eddie, E-D-D-I, hyphen, R-U-E, Eddie Rue. So I was Eddie Rue. Eddie Rue, Eddie Rue, Eddie Rue, when I was little. I dropped it when I was 21. I dropped the Eddie and became just Rue. But then Winona got pregnant, and she had a little girl.
And what'd your mother do to her?
Oh, worse. Worse, because Winona Sue was her name, and she was married to a man named Earl.
Oh, my.
So that little girl got named Earla Sue.
Earla Sue.
Earla Sue.
Hey, did she ever drop the Earla?
When she was 14.
Oh, she didn't wait as long as you did.
Smarter than I was.
I'll tell you.
But you know, because it was William Edwin and Rue and Nell, she could have named me Billy Nell.
Good. Well, see, there's always a silver lining.
Yes, there is.
Gee whiz. It's Rue McClanahan, and we're going to be talking to her. You can talk to her, too, if you want. 333-PCNC. We do take calls from
Oh, lovely.
probably flustered fans if
I
they...
love talking to people.
If you screw up the courage, go ahead. I'll share her. We'll be back.
The official transportation provider of Cullen on Cable is Pittsburgh Limousine, the one clear choice in transportation.
I just called Rue McClanahan Noki, and she said it's one of her least favorite words, so I've already put my foot in it. Rue McClanahan. She's got an Emmy Award for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. That'd be, which one? Maude.
No, it was Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls, of
Yeah,
course. Golden Girls. Did that show, was that as much fun to do as it looks like it might have been?
Almost.
Or not? Almost.
Because it
Not-
probably looks like a wonderful ball.
Yeah,
right?
it does.
And it was a lot of work. It takes a great deal of courage and skill to do a show like that, you know. Because sitcoms are the most demanding as far as
What,
ability.
timing?
Yes.
What is it? So what is required? What?
Memory. You have to learn that show very quickly, and there's a lot to learn, and you have to make it funny but spontaneous, and you have to be on your marks, and you have to be facing the correct camera, and the timing has to be, it's that TV timing that's just one beat later than you would do it on the stage.
Wow.
You know, one beat later than your instinct. You have to wait for the camera, then give your funny line, you know.
Wow.
So your timing. I remember when I first went out to California to do Maude, I was saying to myself quite a bit, this is vaguely reminiscent of acting. It bears a faint resemblance to
So it
acting.
really is. It really is an entirely different animal.
Entirely different. And a lot of people who are just wonderful on the stage or in film can't do sitcom.
Can't do it.
Oh, it's tough. It's like walking a tight wire across a chasm every tape night.
You didn't have a live audience for that?
Yes,
You
of course
did
we
have
had a live audience. Had two live audiences. Had one at around 4:30 or 5. That was called our dress rehearsal. And then we had one around 7:30 or 8, which was called our show audience. And then the editors put those two together. And usually they'd use about a third of the first one and 2/3 of the second one. So the show that you see on the air is a
compilation.
conglomerate.
A compilation of what, the best moments where it really worked.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you ever, in front of a live audience, you can stop, can't you? And if something goes totally awry, or don't
Of course.
you? Yeah, you do.
If you have to.
Yeah.
But you know, you
Ideally, you
try very hard not to ever do that, you know.
So how odd. No one's ever told me that you actually have to wait a beat for the camera to change. You're
Well, see,
not quite doing it in real time.
Let's say we're
then.
doing it on the camera,
Yeah.
shooting you from here and shooting
Right.
me from here, and the line is, I'm telling a story, and then your line is, so what did you do? And of course, on the stage you say, so what did you do? Ba-da-ba-da would come the funny line
Right.
to get the laugh. But you say, so what did you do? Beat. Ba-da-ba-da. It takes just that long.
That long for it to... Jeez. And you
takes
can't be
practice.
appearing to think about this. All has to just...
Just flow.
Just happen.
You know what people ask me? Did you all make up those lines? Were those ad-libs? And I said, the writers would kill us if we ad-libbed. You know, the writers are competing for Emmys too.
Yeah.
And so it's their work that's up being judged. So you have to do what's written, of course.
How much of, I'm sure you're sick of questions like this, how much of Blanche, the sex-obsessed character she played, is Rue McClanahan?
Well, my standard answer for that is that, you know, if you look at the facts, Blanche was a man-hungry vamp with unlimited sex appeal and glamour from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm not from Atlanta.
I knew you were going there. I could feel that one coming.
You know, in any role, there is some of you.
Sure.
But this role that I'm doing now in Bye Bye Birdie, Mae Peterson, I mean, she's an unmitigated word that rhymes with witch. She is the most horrible harridan mother of all time.
So you can't find
she has no redeeming quality.
You can't find anything in her that can...
She's funny. She's funny. And she loves her son, but she loves him in a way that's absolutely detrimental.
Yeah.
You know.
One of these lethal mothers.
Oh! She's kept him a namby-pamby mama's boy up in his 30s. Now, you say, how much of Rue is in Mae Peterson?
Yeah,
well, none, I hope, except for my sense of humor, you know. But I guess there's a part of me in everything I do. I mean, how could there not be?
So what is this your first love, doing something on stage as opposed to these, you know, the more technical area of...
It really
yeah,
is.
it's fun.
I like the stage the best, and sitcom the next best, because it's kind of like, as I say, kind of like doing a play, kind of like acting. You do at least get to do it live in front of an audience, and you do get that feedback. You see, that's what makes a thing happen, is that audience feedback, that interchange.
There's some kind of chemistry you can just feel.
Oh,
going.
yeah.
Yeah.
Opening night here of Bye Bye Birdie, the audience was electric, and so were we. You know, from the opening number, their response boosted us up another notch. You know, it really works that way. Now, when you're doing a film, as this new show is going to be, the one I'm shooting in Florida with Gregory Harrison, Safe Harbor for Warner Brothers at 9 o'clock on Monday nights, starting in September, following Seventh Heaven.
All right. Wait, what network? What network?
Warner Brothers.
Oh, Warner Brothers. Oh, WB.
Monday night.
Okay,
9.
Gotcha.
Safe Harbor.
9. Safe Harbor. Gregory Harrison.
Yes.
Rue McClanahan. 9.
That one is done on film. It's a film show. So it's like doing a little movie. It takes 8 days to do your 44 minutes or whatever it is you have to.
So you're not getting any of that electricity, chemistry, feedback, any of that?
All you get is the director and the fellow actors. That's what you get. And, you know, the board crew standing around going,
Yeah. That must really help a lot. In your peripheral vision, seeing some guy,
you know, with big belly,
yeah.
scratching himself. You're playing it to dramatic.
We've got people ringing the phone off the hooks.
Oh, those are the
Here.
phones.
Yeah, people trying to get through to you. Let me.
Wondered what that was.
Listen, I'll grudgingly let one person through right now. Is this Kara or Tara?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, Miss McClanahan.
Hello
Welcome
there.
to Pittsburgh.
You say welcome to Pittsburgh?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I just wanted to know, what was it like working with such a star-filled cast as B. Arthur and Betty White? Golden Girls is my favorite show. I watch the reruns every night.
Don't forget Estelle Getty.
Oh, and Estelle Getty,
Thank
of
you.
course, of course.
And, of course, all of those stars who were behind the scenes, the best writers in Hollywood. We had like 12 or 13 writers every year. They kept leaving because we were so successful they would form their own production companies and move on, and we'd get new ones in, but we still had good ones. It was wonderful is how it was. It's the way I want to work. I want to work only with the best.
How many years?
Well, we did 7 years of Golden Girls and 1 year of Golden Palace without B. So we actually worked, the 3 of us worked together 8 years.
Wow.
And they sped by. They sped by so fast.
But I've heard doing a sitcom is grueling.
Well,
so that was 7 years of grueling?
No,
work?
it's not grueling. Not at all. It's very demanding.
Okay,
but you don't start work till 10 in the morning.
That's
and you don't, and you may only work a few hours before you go home, and it's only, you know, 4 days of rehearsal. It's easy. You don't get into makeup or anything. It's not like doing a movie. A movie, you may be called at 5 or 6 in the morning before daylight. You know, and you go and you get into hair, and you get into makeup, and you get into costume every day. Now, that's grueling.
That's grueling.
And it goes on maybe 12 hours a day. No, you work 45 hours, about 45 hours a week on a sitcom.
45 hours a week, a piece of cake, and you get to keep the clothes. Gosh, some people get it all. Rue McClanahan. She's in Pittsburgh in Bye Bye Birdie. You call now. Get your tickets. Go see her. Rave reviews. Electrified audience. You could be in it. We'll be back with your calls. Rue McClanahan joining me. Tape or film? It was...
Who, Golden Girls?
Yeah, tape. We were just arguing about
I
that
always
here.
thought it was on tape
Yeah.
because it was that kind of flat lighting.
Yeah.
That, you know, you don't... A film, you get depth and more...
Look at your blue eyes.
Okay.
They're so blue.
Well, I'll tell you the truth. I must confess that I lost 20 hard contact lenses that were clear and you know they'd pop out of your eye.
So you do have colored
So
ones.
I had them colored so
Okay.
that I could, but they're very faintly colored.
Very faintly, so her eyes really are I don't know if you can see them on the camera, but they're just
Very often they don't show
blue
up
orbs.
on tape.
Okay. There's a lot of people who want to talk to you, but I also want to talk to you about stuff that doesn't have to. I know that you're into a lot of things. You're into animal rights. You had a frightening encounter with cancer,
That's right.
and I want to talk about that because I know you do talk about that.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh,
Very much
sure.
so. Yeah. Why not?
Of course.
So we'll get into that, but shall we talk to these folks first?
Absolutely.
Peggy, you're talking to Rue McClanahan.
Hello.
Hello, Peggy.
How are you?
Fine, and
Rue,
you, and
I
where
wanna
are you?
tell
There you are.
The most important movie that I ever seen you in that I thought where you were fabulous was Nonsense. You remember
Nonsense.
doing that?
I
Movie
love
about the nuns.
Did you say, did I like it?
I think she said you remember.
Oh, I love
Yes,
it.
I remember it.
You know, my husband laughed so hard at that show, and every time he sees the reruns of Golden Girls, you wouldn't believe he rolls his. He just cracks up. He just thinks that show was so fabulous, and especially you. Every time you were on, he would just crack up over you.
I loved playing that.
You have been good in everything I've ever seen you in.
Thank you.
Whether it was a dramatic role or whether it was a comedy role, you are a very, very talented actress.
Thank you.
And I'm
More,
so glad
more,
to get
please.
to talk to you.
Keep going, Peggy. You're doing real well. Let's hear more. Don't you have some?
Sorry.
Don't hold back. Go ahead, Peggy.
Well, I just
do you
want
like
to
her?
tell you that I think you are a very outstanding actress, and you are very good in everything that I've seen you in. And
Thank you.
Enjoy your shows very much.
That's what I wanted to be when I was a little girl. I wanted to be a successful actress, and I really had no idea how to go about it, and I'm so glad it worked out.
Every little girl wanted to be a successful actress.
Not
I
my
did
girlfriends.
too.
They wanted
Really?
to be married. They
Oh,
wanted to
heavens.
be wives. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Or airline stewardesses, you know.
Oh, jeez.
Nurses.
You didn't know how to go about it, but what happened?
I
How did you do
just went to New York after I graduated from college. I went to New York.
I did too. I didn't become a great actress.
Well, maybe you didn't set out to.
Well, I wanted to become an actress.
Well, it all depends on, yeah, but how hard did you want
Not
to?
very hard. I ended up
wanted
getting married.
to.
Yeah,
I
you got to
wanted
really
to.
be absolutely
I
insisting
mean,
on
it was do or die with me.
Uh-huh.
I think that's what it takes because it's so hard.
But you've been doing it. Are you ever going to not do it?
Not if I can help
You
it.
just want to keep. It's one of those wonderful professions that you can keep doing until
I don't
your last
understand
breath.
retirement. It puzzles me. It really puzzles me. I understand 2 weeks off.
Yeah. I understand that one too. Actually, 3 weeks off I could come to understand. Rosemarie, you're talking to Rue McClanahan.
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted...
Hello?
Hi. I didn't know if I was on.
You're on.
I just wanted to say the favorite hours I have every day are from 5 to 6 because it shows women of my age group as being energetic, smart, witty, and not like the stereotypes they show on television today for women in their 60s. And by the way, that gown that you showed,
Yeah, on the tape?
yeah, that you were queen of the Peach Ball.
Oh, I was?
Yes, I watch the show every day.
So that was like an evening dress?
It was an evening dress, and you were, and Rose was fixing the hem,
Oh, yeah.
and it was a really beautiful gown.
Yes.
So
I think
I
I'm going to
wanted
have to
to-
write them. Tell them I
They
want
owe
that.
it to you.
I want
The
that.
Golden Girls really does something because it shows women of our age group as not just, some dumb idiots.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard it put a lot of ways. That's a new one.
Yeah. Well, thank you. So, I mean,
Okay, bye-bye.
bye-bye. Bye. Isn't that interesting? She remembers the show. You did the show. You don't have a clue.
But I don't watch the reruns.
But you don't watch the reruns.
So, of course, I've forgotten. I've
All
done a
right.
lot of things since.
Hey, Greg, you there?
Hello.
Hello, Greg.
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to say I'm just glad that you come to Pittsburgh. You're a star. You are talking to a star, and it's a pleasure. I'm just one of your greatest fans. Thank you.
Well,
You're
thank
welcome.
you. What a nice thing to say.
Did he say you're talking to a star?
He did say that.
Well, we're just
Yet
gonna...
he did not explain what he meant.
I was going to ask, but then I was afraid to, so I thought we'll just let it go.
Greg.
He had a good voice,
He
didn't
could be a hockey player or something?
No, I don't think that was a hockey player.
You don't? Why
No.
not?
I don't know. He just didn't sound like a hockey player to
How
me.
do hockey players sound?
Well, they sound like Canadians. He didn't sound Canadian. I mean, they often sound Canadian,
Oh.
you know?
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
I mean, a lot of them are Canadian, or they sound Eastern European. They're Czechoslovakian or Russian.
Oh, stop
half
you
of them
turning
hardly-
me on, Lynn. Come on.
Heaven.
Love those foreign men. Remember what Mae West said? I only like two kinds of men, foreign and domestic. I agree with her.
There is a lot of Blanche in this woman. Helen, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Yes, I mean, I'm on.
You're on, Helen.
Hello. I just want to tell you, Rue, how much I enjoy your program, especially all those gowns you wear, you know. And my daughter and I watch you every evening, and on Saturdays we hardly ever miss a program. I'm 85 years old.
Oh.
And
wow.
I'm also a cancer survivor.
Ah, congratulations and good for you.
Good. I know. Keep on watching you, both my daughter and I.
Okay.
Thank you, Helen.
Hey, thank you, Helen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Bye. Wow.
85. See, I hope to be still working when I'm 85. I'm hoping.
You know, they say, though, that women have more trouble working as they age in acting, right?
Actresses do, absolutely. But I think after you get past a certain point,
then they come back to you again.
Then, you know, there aren't so many left who can play those parts. The field narrows. Well, I mean, the others have retired or something, you know.
Anyway, did you see that American Film Institute list of the greatest actors?
I did.
And what was your reaction to it?
My reaction was that I hate lists and I hate contests, and there is no such thing as the 25 most whatever that was supposed to be, because there are 25 others that didn't make the list. I think it's just, well, a piece of commercialism.
You bet it is.
Yeah.
That's my reaction, too.
I mean,
that
there
ranking
isn't one who's number one. There never can be.
Right.
You know, it's too big a field.
Exactly.
I mean, who's to say that Katharine Hepburn's 1 and Betty Davis is 2, please? And Ingrid Bergman is 3 or 8 or whatever she was.
Or whatever the heck she was.
Come on. Get real. And Laurel Hardy didn't even make it. And W.C. Fields didn't make it. Please give me a break.
Really? Laurel and Hardy you thought should be in
There was one. Yes. You don't?
Oh, I guess I do.
Well, there was only one.
I won't argue with you.
There was only one comedy actor in there. I mean, please, comedy's the hardest thing to do.
Hear that?
I didn't like that list.
She didn't like the list, so there.
But I agreed with a lot of it.
Yeah. Rue McClanahan. No shutting her up, I guess. We'll be back in just a moment.
I got good news from my accountant. I'm being audited Tuesday.
Oh, lucky you.
Oh, but Dorothy, you don't get it. My accountant reminded me that I've been audited before, and I've never had to pay a penny in back taxes. I have a way with auditors. The last time I was audited, I got money back from the government.
Blanche, it's not a refund when the auditor leaves 2 20s on your nightstand.
Shameless woman, I'll tell you.
Well, you see, Estelle was allowed to say anything. You know.
Because she was the older woman who could say anything?
The way it was written in the very beginning was that Sophia had just had a stroke just before the series began. She just had a stroke. And so it destroyed the part of her brain that was the censor so she could say anything and get by with it because she had no, she couldn't help it. But they didn't bring that out very clearly, and so people didn't really realize that's why she was so sassy.
So we just thought she was a little wacky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she was a little wacky.
Well, you just said Betty White has got something new coming out.
Betty White's got a new series on CBS, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay. And you know what Bea and Estelle are up to these days? No?
I do not. I see Estelle when I go to Hollywood, when I go to California, which I do 2 or 3 times a year usually, and we talk on the phone occasionally. But what Estelle is doing is she's spending her energy trying not to work. She doesn't want to work. She wants to retire.
And it can be hard, to stave off people who want
people keep wanting her to come and do this, that, and the other. And she does speeches. She goes and she talks to people.
Speaking of speeches, you do speeches.
I do speeches too.
About?
I have 2 different speeches. One is called Riding the Cancer Rapids, which is my story about discovering I had breast cancer 2 years ago and meeting my to-be husband just 2 weeks before that, and our adventures of, from then on. And the other speech is called Aging Gracefully, and it's a comedy speech about how to do it.
Are you aging gracefully?
Well, I prefer to think I'm aging disgracefully. I think it's a lot more fun.
The strange confluence of finding out you have cancer at the same time you find this man you love.
The love of your life.
So
it was quite remarkable, actually. I'd met him. I was in New York to rehearse a play, and I'd met him the 3rd day of rehearsal because he was there to help out with the production end of it. And it was about 2 weeks, maybe 13 days later, that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And he and I, in the meantime, had sort of surreptitiously fallen in love. That is, I was falling in love with him, and he was falling in love with me, but we didn't know it. I mean, I didn't know he was in love with me. You see
weren't
what I mean?
Acknowledging it.
Yes, it hadn't been spoken of. There was just a lot of flirtation going on, and I was a little bit puzzled as to whether he was really interested in me or was he just a big flirt. Was this just something that applied to all women? And I mean, really a big flirt. I was quite surprised at some of the things he said. And he met me that day to go to the doctor to have this lump checked out. And I just thought it was an enlarged lymph node. And of course, when it was diagnosed then and there as breast cancer, I practically fainted, quite literally. I got very dizzy and my blood pressure dropped, I guess is what happened. I had to hold on to the edge of the examining table because I was just about to go. And then, of course, we went to another radiology lab, and they confirmed it. And then we went to a surgeon, and he said, you have to have a double mastectomy immediately. An old fogey doctor, and I said, well, we don't think so, because you can't even find the cancer. It was such a little teeny-weeny weensy thing.
Is that still happening where doctors just immediately say,
well, old
just
fogies,
take them off, when in fact a lumpectomy will do it?
It was 2 years ago, and it was still happening.
Wow.
And then that was a Friday. We went on a Monday. Oh, that very afternoon, though, he said as we were leaving that surgeon's office, look, I just want to tell you that I love you. And he said, I'm going to stick with you through this. I'm here for the long haul, whatever it takes, if you want me. Well, of course I did. And we went on Monday then to see another surgeon who said that he thought a single mastectomy would be sufficient, and we still weren't happy with that. So we called SHARE, S-H-A-R-E, which is an organization in New York that's made up of cancer survivors, women mostly. I think it's breast and ovarian, so it must be all women. Mm-hmm. Well, there are some men who get breast cancer, very few. And they recommended a doctor named Larry Norton up at Sloan Kettering Memorial. Called him. She actually recommended three doctors who were more modern in their approach. Mm-hmm. So I called him first, and I loved the way he sounded on the phone. We went in to see him the following Friday, and he said, after examining me, I think a lumpectomy is, he said, here's his quote, I think we have a shot at a lumpectomy. Well, that was music to my ears. He said, come back Monday after I look at all the tests, and we'll give you the verdict. So we went back Monday, and he said, I would recommend a lumpectomy, and I have a surgeon here who can do it this Friday.
Wow.
So we did it right away. Now, meanwhile, of course, I had to drop out of the play, you see. I couldn't go on with the rehearsals. We had another week and a half to finish the play rehearsals, and then 4 weeks of playing. And the producers were urging me not to get the surgery done, but to finish the play.
Oh, for heaven's
I'm telling you, they called me starting in the morning at 7:30. their phone would ring, and this is every day, and they would call about every 2 or 3 hours urging me, come on, 4 weeks won't make a difference, 6 weeks won't make a difference, you know. I said, but it could. It could make a difference.
Oh, how awful to put you under that pressure when you're dealing with something that
awful.
could be a fight for your life.
Finally, the director's wife called us one day and said, look, I hate to tell you this, but if Rue doesn't come back to rehearsals, I'm afraid that the producers are going to give this story to the papers. Of course, you know what that means. That means the tabloids. That means Inquirer,
So they threatened you. That's almost like blackmail.
Not only that, they did it. Then we heard from the Star saying, we've been told that you have cancer. Actually, Morrow took the call. We've been told that Rue McClanahan has cancer, and we're running the story tomorrow. We're writing the story tomorrow afternoon. This was a Sunday. So we go to press at 5 o'clock on Monday, with or without your interview.
Stop there. We're going to come back for the how you handled that.
I told you I can talk unstop on this. Unstoppably.
But you got us on the edge of our seats now. So the Star is breaking this very personal story. What does Rue McClanahan do? Stay tuned.
Dum, da-dum, dum.
Rue McClanahan besieged here in the studio by autograph seekers.
Yes.
You know, speaking of hockey players and baseball players and stuff like that, they get money for signing autographs. You know that?
Well, I do. Whoops. I do if it's charity, but if it's not a charity, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, they charge.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That's unconscionable too.
See, there's more unconscionable things. Okay, so the Star's saying we'll do it with you, or they'll do it without you. So the thing is that you could maybe, if you agreed to
be interviewed, we could, you know,
you could sort of maybe
make some lemonade out of this lemon.
So what'd you think?
Well, my husband said, of course we'll meet you at the such and such hotel tomorrow afternoon at such and such a time. And so I split immediately for Saks to buy a suit. I didn't have anything to wear for such an event. And
what do you wear to an event like that?
Well, I bought a bright red suit, just as up and, you know, chipper
as you knew
as
they'd be taking your picture
and
all of that, the whole thing.
So we took our stage manager with us, who by then had become our ally, and we took a tape recorder. So we recorded the entire thing, and he was there as a witness. And that made us comfortable. And they wrote a marvelous article called something like "Brave Golden Girl Battles Breast Cancer" or something like that. And they ran it. They ran it in the issue that was the Elvis Presley 25th year anniversary issue, so that the entire
everybody
paper was
saw it.
Full of Elvis Presley, you know. Full of Elvis Presley. Well, it was kind of good because I was kind of, you know, 3 pages from the back. So I don't know if everybody saw it or not, but I was in good company.
But so you didn't, it wasn't a terrible thing. I mean, it was a
It turned into not such a terrible thing.
Yeah, but it could have been.
We weren't going to give the story away, you know, under those circumstances. You know, we would have printed it in a little more upbeat paper or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
you got your lumpectomy, everything worked out, you got married.
We got married, and we promised the Star that if they did a good breast cancer article, we would give them the wedding thing. And so we gave the wedding to them. They came and they did a beautiful spread on the wedding as well. So it all worked out, you see. The good guys won. But I just can't get over the fact that there are people like that in the world.
Disgusting. Horrible people.
Well,
but they didn't win. They didn't win.
No, they didn't win.
And so who went on in your...
Nobody. They canceled.
They canceled the whole thing. They took a bath.
Well, they tried to get Debbie Reynolds. They had Debbie... They were... I think she was interested for a while. Oh, and there was someone else who was interested for a while, but they just never did quite get it together. So they still have the play, and they can still do it someday.
You know, we should mention, because we only have about a minute left, the reason Rue McClanahan is here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is she's in Bye Bye Birdie, the CLO's production. You got a show tonight?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is this, Thursday? Yes.
I don't know. Is it Thursday? She's got a show tonight, and two on Saturday, and two on Sunday, and Friday. And so there's opportunity for you to see. The reviews have been stellar.
The audiences really love the show. They really have a good time.
Here's where you get your tickets. 412-456-6666. 6-6. From here, do you go somewhere else with it?
No, we came here from Cleveland. We did it 2 weeks in Cleveland, and now we're doing it 2 weeks here, and then that's that. And then I go to Florida to do Safe Harbor.
Safe Harbor's 9 o'clock. Safe Harbor, 9 o'clock.
Gregory Harrison.
WB.
WB, 9 o'clock Monday nights.
Okay. We'll look forward to seeing it.
Another flamboyant, outrageous
She'll
character.
be everywhere on your television. What a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you
so much.
It's been fun. It's been fun.
Go see her. She's live, real, at CLO's Bye Bye Birdie. Bye-bye to you, too. I'll be back, though, in just a minute. Rue McClanahan still attempting to exit the studio, being besieged by hordes of autograph seekers. You know, and I never got one. You believe that? But I never understand. What do people do with these autographs they get? Stick them in a drawer somewhere and forget they even have them. Hey, tomorrow I've got a soap star, Jeff Tracta. Actually, he's in Bye Bye Birdie, too. Bold and the Beautiful, One Life to Live. If you watch those, you know who he is. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me.